Every year, on March 17th, people around the world throw on green clothing, drink Guinness, and celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I myself have participated in this tradition a time or two, but beyond the green clothing and the drinking, how much do we really know about this holiday? Let's take a deep dive into the history of St. Patrick's Day to see how it became the huge celebration it is today. So obviously, St. Patrick's Day is about a guy named St. Patrick, but here's the wild part. He wasn't even Irish. Patrick was actually born in Britain sometime in the late 4th or early 5th century. When he was 16, Irish raiders kidnapped him and took him to Ireland, where he was forced into slavery, working under a Druid chief. It was during his captivity that he converted to Christianity because one night he had a dream, or maybe more of a vision, telling him to escape. So he did. He managed to flee and make his way back home. Once back, Patrick doubled down on his faith, and he trained as a priest for 12 long years in a monastery. And then, get this, he chose to go back to Ireland, but this time, not as a slave, as a missionary. He spread Christianity throughout the nation, converting many people and establishing churches, monasteries, and schools along the way. Eventually, he became the country's patron saint, and when he died on March 17th, around the year 461, people started honoring him on that day. Now, like any legendary figure, St. Patrick has some pretty wild stories attached to his name. Some say he brought people back from the dead. Others say he drove all the snakes out of Ireland, but since there's no historical record of any snakes in Ireland at the time, most historians think snakes was just a metaphor for pagans. Oh, and the whole wearing green, that wasn't always a thing. Originally, St. Patrick was associated with the color blue, but over time, green took over, probably because of Ireland's lush landscapes and, of course, its flag. Anyway, for centuries, St. Patrick's Day was mostly a Catholic religious holiday in Ireland. Churches, feasts, that kind of thing. It was not the big wild party that we are familiar with. In fact, up until the 20th century, Irish law even required pubs to be closed on March 17th. Can you imagine a St. Patrick's Day with no drinking? I can't. So how did we get to where we are today? Funny enough, once again, it all started outside of Ireland in the 18th century with Irish immigrants in America. You see, the first ever St. Patrick's Day parade wasn't in Dublin. It was actually in New York City in 1762 and was organized by Irish soldiers in the British Army on their way to the pub. Then, with the Great Potato Famine in the 1840s, more and more Irish immigrants flocked to the United States, which helped the celebration become more widespread. The New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade, to this day, is still the oldest and largest St. Patty's Parade in the whole world. About 3 million people attend each year, which must be pretty good for the economy. These days, St. Patrick's Day is a global phenomenon. Chicago literally dyes its river green, and cities like Dublin, Sydney, and Tokyo go all out with massive parades and festivals. And you definitely don't have to be Irish to join in on the fun. The holiday has come to symbolize unity, pride, and the joy of Irish traditions. It's also a very good excuse to drink. So, whether you're Irish by blood or just Irish for the day, St. Patrick's Day is all about coming together, embracing tradition, and enjoying the moment. Sláinte.